Hey everyone, thanks for joining today. Today we have a special guest. His name is Jason Brorby. Jason is a seasoned expert with over 2 decades of experience in marketing, management, and IT. He's the driving force behind Six Digital, where he specializes in leveraging cutting edge technologies, including innovative ways of using AI to propel businesses to new heights. His passion for utilizing Google business profiles is matched by his innovation and his approach to digital marketing. Jason's extensive career has equipped him with the skills to craft strategic marketing initiatives that enhance online presence and secure top Google rankings. His work with AI at Six Digital allows him to offer tailored solutions that align with the unique goals of both startups and established enterprises. Join us as we delve into Jason's journey and explore how his expertise in AI and digital strategies ensure that his customers have a lasting impact in the competitive digital landscape. Jason, welcome to the show, man.
All right, awesome. I appreciate this invite, Gary. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's a blast. I'm looking forward to doing these. It's something I've had on my heart and on my mind for a long time, and I think it should be a lot of fun. So we'll just kind of dive in here. Jason, tell us a little bit about Six Digital. What inspired you to start your business, and give us a little bit of background.
Absolutely. It's been a few years. I've been kind of pondering doing this for quite a while, and up until about a year and a half ago, I didn't live in Fargo. I lived in rural North Dakota, so it was not super easy thing to do. But I knew there was a lot of businesses out there that needed this. So the day I moved to Fargo, I started kind of deciding what I wanted to do with this and how I was going to move forward. And Google is such an important piece for local businesses that I wanted to put my focus on that profile because a lot of businesses, somewhere upwards of 80% of small businesses don't realize how important that profile is. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start helping these businesses with this profile, and it just took off. It really did. I've got a lot of people interested in the service, a lot of people using the service, and yeah, I just thought this is going to work, and it has. It's worked. It's worked really well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. Now Six Digital, it's not the number six. It's not SIX. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's very interesting. A lot of people ask me. So it is spelled SICKS, Six Digital. Um, I grew up in a very, very small town in rural North Dakota, and I had six people in my class. My graduating class was six people. So I've always kind of had that number six um, come along with me for the ride everywhere I go. And I always it's a pretty good icebreaker to tell people, especially people coming from bigger cities where they're like, six people in your class. What? And I don't like to play by the rules a lot of times, so that's why I call it SICKS, Six Digital. It stands out a little bit, and it's a good little story to have to tell.
Yeah, nice little testament to your creativity, huh?
Right on.
So, growing up in a small town, how did that affect you in terms of starting a business? I mean, obviously, with six people in your class and what have you, not a lot of opportunity. Talk us through that progression, right?
Yeah, that's a really good question. The funny thing is, my dad has kind of always been an entrepreneur, kind of looking for a side hustle. He was the manager of the Farmers Union in my small town for 18 years, but he was always looking for something else to do on the side. And then that kind of went to my brother. My brother's 9 years older than me. And when I was 11 years old, my brother was selling fireworks. He was doing fireworks in a nearby town. And he said, would you like to have your own little fireworks stand in this town and I'll do the other town? And again, I was 11 and I said, yeah, let's do it. So we started that, and I really learned, the ins and outs of business from my dad and my brother. And starting at a really young age, learning how to interact with people and customers, and understanding that if you don't have customers, you don't have a business. So it's a very, very important piece that I think I learned from my dad and my older brother, and it's always stuck with me. And growing up in a small town, there's not a lot of opportunities. There's not a lot of things to do or ways to make money, and you got to figure it out. And that's what I did. I figured it out. So it was a lot of fun, a lot of good times selling fireworks for many years. We did that. So it was good. It was a lot of fun.
Very cool. Very cool. So, what's your perspective, Jason, on the startup scene, the tech scene in the Fargo Moorhead area?
It's, excuse me, it's phenomenal. I can't believe how, hmm, excuse
Bless
me,
you.
went down the wrong pipe. Um, yeah, the Fargo Moorhead area is booming, and that's not just something that I say. That's something that America knows. Oh, excuse me. Um, yeah, if you look up, smaller communities to move to, or that are understanding technology and building and growing, Fargo is on that list every time. So it's fun to see. And when I get out into the community and I network and I interact with people, everybody is super nice, super willing to share, and really sharing other people's businesses with the community is a big, big thing in Fargo. And I didn't realize until I actually lived here that so many people will say, hey, I'm having an issue with Google. Like they're just mentioning it in conversation. And the person they're talking to says, hey, you got to call Jason because he'll help you. And I've gotten so many referrals from people, um, because I am the Google guy. They know that I can help them. And it's amazing. It's amazing how Fargo has embraced me and my business and been able to get referrals from people. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So how does one go about leveraging Google? Where does somebody start that's got a business and just needs to begin at the first step?
Absolutely. So the first thing you want to do is, if you're a local business, is to either create your Google business profile, or claim your Google business profile if it's already been developed. And a lot of times Google will do it automatically if there are businesses out there and people are doing, they're checking in, they're posting pictures, they're doing whatever about business. Google will actually create the profile automatically because they know there's a business there. And if you log in, you have to have a Google account, obviously. You log in with your Google account and you basically type in Google Business Profile, and that will take you to the section in Google that will explain it to you and explain how to create it or claim it. And it's super easy and it's free. That's the greatest thing about it. It's totally free, and Google wants you to use it consistently. So if you're not using it today, start right now because it's very, very important to your business to be able to have that profile.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about Google ranking. You talk about that a lot, right? And search engine optimization and digital marketing. There's, I mean, it would blow people's minds if they really looked at all the things that could encompass. Um, but talk a little bit about the search engine ranking, right? You see it as SERPs, you see it as search engine, you see it as ranking. I want to be number one on Google. What does all that mean to a business, and how do they start in that aspect of it, Jason?
Yeah, that's a really good question because when somebody says SEO, search engine optimization, it can mean so many different things, and it gets complicated and muddy real quick, for a lot of people. There's people out there that'll say, well, I need SEO, I think, and they're just not quite sure. So there's two really important factors to consider there. There's SEO for your website, which will help rank for within your website. And then there's local SEO, which I focus on. And local SEO is optimizing your Google business profile for ranking within Google. Um, it's real simple. Something that I've said a million times, and I'm not going to stop saying it. And people get sick of me saying it, but I love it because it's so true. Google does not care about you or your website. Google cares about Google. And Google Business Profile is a Google product. If you're using the Google product, Google's going to like you a lot more. So this is something that I constantly push and tell people is use that profile as much as you can. Update it, put pictures on, make sure your hours are updated. All these things, they all tie into local SEO. And when Google sees that you care about local SEO with their product, Google's going to care more about you and they're going to rank you higher. And the more time you put into it, the more effort you put into it, Google is going to see that. And Google cares about Google. You're using their product, they're going to push you higher in those rankings. It just makes sense. And so many people don't realize how important it is. Local SEO is the number one piece to get your local business ranked on Google without having to spend a penny on advertising. You don't spend
Hmm.
any on ads at all, and you can get ranked on Google very quickly.
Very cool. Very cool. Um, let's shift gears a little bit. I mean, we could talk all day on SEO and on Google and all this, right? But we met a couple of months ago, Jason. We were at an AI conference here locally. Um, we both were excited about what we saw and what could be, and this whole AI thing is new to a lot of people. Um, Talk about that a little bit. What is AI and what is AI not? And where do you see AI going in the next, let's say, 12 to 18 months? That's a big question, but let's give it a shot.
It is a big question. So AI it's kind of the sexy term for everything right now. Everybody's using AI for everything, even things that aren't AI. People are saying that it's AI powered, when in reality, there's just the technology behind things that makes it work. It's not necessarily AI, but you can refer to it as AI, and that's what people are doing right now because it's the big thing right now. It's the term that everyone wants to use to try to get people interested in things. And something else that I've talked about before in the past is, AI has been around since the invention of technology. It's been here. A great example that I love to use is back in the early days when you would call Delta Airlines, their phone tree was AI. You didn't have to necessarily talk to anyone. They would ask you questions and you would answer, and it would slowly bring you through the process to get you the answer you were looking for without having to speak to a human being at all.
Hmm.
Um, that's been around forever. People have been using that forever, and that is AI. And it's it scares some people to hear, AI. I hear it all the time. My wife has mentioned it to me numerous times where she's like, I don't think I trust it. And I hear that a lot from people all over the place. And the thing is, AI it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It's been here for a long time already, but people are now seeing how powerful it can be. And people are leveraging that power. People are understanding how to use that power in the background to be able to build applications and be able to automate things that you couldn't automate before. Um, we have since Chat GPT was introduced, just 2 years ago, We've seen the growth has been unbelievable. It has been so fast and furious that thinking about the next 12 to 18 months is mind blowing. I mean, I can't even begin to imagine what we're going to accomplish in the short amount of time that it's been here. The things that have been put together are mind blowing. They really are. I mean, there are things that 5 years ago you wouldn't have thought were possible without spending millions and millions of dollars that you can accomplish now for free and usually would take months to build or months to do now can be done in minutes. And there's there's a great story of a gentleman who was putting together documents, and that was his whole job. His whole job was putting documents together and then analyzing and summarizing those documents. It was basically his job for 15, 20 years. He was doing this and he loved it and he was great at it. Now you can upload those documents into an AI tool and it will analyze and summarize them for you in seconds. And the one thing I always want to tell people is it's not going to take anybody's job. It's going to enhance everybody's job because this guy now he can do his job so much more efficiently and so much faster than he could before. He can now focus on some other things. And that's the key, I think, that I want everyone to be aware of is it's gonna enhance everything that you do. It's gonna make it better and easier and faster. And who doesn't want that? In all
Yeah.
honesty, I mean, come on. Yeah. When it comes right down to it, Gary, I think every single person in the world could use some free time. And and I think that's what AI is gonna help us all do is to be able to automate and make things more efficient and just help everyone get things done that nobody necessarily wants to do. Those tasks, those technology type tasks. The joke is, I want AI to do my dishes for me. We're not quite there yet, but when it comes to the technology side, we can automate those things and we can make them better and faster.
Yeah, yeah. And really, you can use AI so many different ways. And one of the things that I like about AI is, when you do a Google search, and maybe this is kind of the wrong direction, but you do a Google search and Google brings you a list of websites that have information related to what you're searching about. And the thing that I love is with AI, you can put almost the exact same thing in as a question, a natural question, and it's going to provide you an answer, and it's going to give you the sources that it's used for those answers. So, to your point about making things more efficient and faster, I don't have to search all of these different sites now to find, the relative information. AI is putting it together for me, and it's giving me the sources, as I said. But I don't have to go through all of that now. Now, some of the drawbacks still, it's AI is young, right? And you still need to check its work and those kinds of things. But I tell you, it saves a ton of time.
Really does. And I love the way that you put that because a few weeks ago my wife asked me that specific question. So what's the difference if I just go to Google and I search for something? And I said the big difference is with AI, you actually get the answer. Google is saying, here's where I think the answer is in all of these websites. You should be able to find it. But with AI, it's now saying this is the answer. You don't have to search. The answer is right here. Um, and it is. It's so cool. I love it. And I know so many people have started using it over the past year to be able to get their questions answered. And you do have to check it because like you said, AI is very young, so you need to make sure. Um, but it's just silly to even think that one point in time, we were asking Google these questions, and then we were having to search for it to find the answer. And
Yeah.
now, I mean, my grandson is one, and he's not going to know a world like that, you know, which is so crazy to me because when I was young, there was no internet. So I've seen this technology grow, you know, it's been so crazy throughout my lifetime. I mean, I can't even fathom what my grandson is going to see in his lifetime. And AI is going to be the norm. It's not going to be this sexy term that everyone uses. It's going to be something that he uses on a daily basis, and it's going to be norm. It's going to be the norm where he doesn't say, I'm using AI for this. I'm just using the tools that are available to me. This is how it works. So eh, it's so much fun to talk about. I'm very passionate about it, as you can see. When it comes to Google business profiles and AI, I could literally talk all day.
um, so I just, I wanted people to kind of reflect a little bit because things have changed. You just alluded to it. Things have changed a lot. When I was born, when you were born, the internet didn't even exist, right? Um, Fast forward a little bit. Story my son likes to tell. Um, my son, who is now in his mid 20s, he's in school and he's got a cell phone, right? So that was the early Apple phones and what have you. And he's in math class and he pulls out his phone to do a math problem, and his teacher says, "What are you doing? You can't use a calculator in this class. You're not going to have a calculator in your pocket everywhere you go." But you know what? He does. And then some, right?
And then some as well.
If we just think about that wasn't that long ago. That's what, 10, 15 years ago. Probably 15 years ago when Apple came out with the iPhone, right? And look how far it's come in that time. Where do you think we're going to head? You know, I just can't fathom, the things that are going to happen. But think about it in a kind of a dream state. So, I'm sitting here right now chatting with you. Obviously, you could be anywhere in the world, but that's amazing in itself. But think now, if I was thinking, what, for dinner tonight, I want X, and if I could say that, and my house, which isn't quite smart enough for this yet, could say, okay, well, here's what he's got in the pantry and in the fridge and whatever. Okay, we're going to need this, that, and the other thing. Showing up at my door, right before I'm ready to start making dinner, are all the ingredients that are missing for my dinner. Now, imagine how convenient that's going to be. Now, that opens up a lot of different challenges that we've seen over the last couple of years with, home delivery and all of this, right? I mean, there's so much more home delivery happening, and that's kind of backing off a little bit. So you'll see that, you'll see ebbs and flows of this stuff. But, my question to you, Jason, is what is what is kind of a dream scenario if you could put on your future Jason hat. What are some of the things that you see happening with AI?
So one I just thought of when you were talking about the delivery stuff, it made me think of um, if you had the ability in your smart home, um, your smart home detects a problem with the plumbing. The smart home tells you there's a problem. The smart home says, "This is the plumber you used last time. Should I call them?" AI goes through the process of contacting them, setting up an appointment, and everything. And within, a day or two, the plumber's knocking on your door, and you didn't do one thing. Everything went in order. The only thing you did was approve, basically approve the process and get it done. And I think we're actually getting to that point right now with some of the service businesses out there. They have some smart utilities that will allow for those things to give you updates or let you know something's an issue. But I do see that progression happening where AI steps in and can actually send an email or a text or even a phone call to say this is an issue, let's get it scheduled so it can be checked out. And that could be anything, any type of service, HVAC, your fridge, electricity. I mean, pretty much everything that you've got, it gets to that point, and I think we're going to be there sooner than we think, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. I think about even things like your car, right? Oil change. Yeah, I get a notification now that my oil life is near the end. So, imagine in the future where, and this is maybe like next week, this isn't too far in the future, where you could say, okay, well, schedule my oil change. And, they'll come and it'll be a mobile business that pulls into your driveway, takes care of your oil, or pulls up to, wherever you are. Let's say you're at work and you work in an office. Going to pull up, going to do the oil change for you. You're going to come out. It's going to be all done, of course, with your approval, right? But I think the other things where AI starts to really save on extra expense are things like preventative maintenance. If your car starts to behave in a little different way than it has been, AI and some of those sensors should be able to pick up on that and say, this might be what's happening here. We should take this in and have it looked at. Things like that. Your hot water heater, your water heater. I love that one. Your your water heater is starting to weep a little bit at the bottom of the tank, and the sensor now says, "Hey, this is going to be a problem for you. You better have somebody look at it." To your point about home services, right? So, all of that kind of stuff is definitely on the horizon, and it's pretty exciting. What are you working on, if you can share? What are you working on from an AI perspective? What are some of the things that are real today that you're working on?
Yeah, I've got a couple really good ones, and the first one I wanted to share is one that I've kind of tweaked. And Gary, you were at the meeting that I was at when I first brought this up, but it's basically a report summarizer and analyzer, kind of like what I was talking about earlier a little bit. But it is you've got PDF reports. Your business is all about reporting and analyzing everything. And your boss says, "Well, I need kind of the specifics. Like I don't want all this garbage. I don't want all these reports on my desk. Can you just summarize this for me and give me a report and analyze the data and let me know what we need to do?" So this particular one, built with Chip. Do a shameless plug for Chip because they do fantastic things, and it's built on the Chip model where you can upload those documents. It will analyze and summarize and give you an output of a spreadsheet or a Word document or a PDF. It'll give you that output, and something that used to take 24 hours to do now takes 24 seconds. It is super fast and it is super cool. And I've had a few people test it with me, and one of the gentlemen was like, I don't know how you did this, but thank you because this is going to save me so much time." And that's something I'm super excited about. That one there. Um, we could talk about that a little bit. I've got another one that I want to mention that is going to be like you're going to be like, I don't. You're going to fall off your chair. You're not even going to believe what's going on.
I'll hang on.
um, yeah. So the next one is, I don't know if you've heard of it, and I don't know if the people that are watching this or listening to it have heard of it, but there's a website out there called bolt.new, BOLT.NEW, and it will build a website, a SaaS solution, an application. It will build it for you with one prompt. You write what you want, and you can watch it code. It'll put all the code in, boom, 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 boom. It is so amazing. And right now, I'm building two apps with it, and I'm building a website with it. And the website is, I'm not going to get into a lot of specifics, but the website is something where people will pay a membership fee. And this is something that I pitched to, I think it was on Upwork, like 2 years ago. I thought about this idea. Um, I had people saying, "Yep, I could do it for you. $8,000, $10,000, we can get it done." And I thought, oh, I don't know if I believe in it that much to put that much money into it right now, so let's hold off. I built it with this application online for free. I didn't pay a penny. Um, it's amazing. It is so cool how you can watch this thing build. You have to have an understanding of how the back end of things work. You can't just give it a prompt and then boom, you've got something. You've got to do some work in the background. I use Chat GPT and Claude, and I ask those AI tools what I need to fix with my coding, and it tells me what I need to fix. So um, this program is, it's set up to where it's only going to allow you to do so much and then they want you to pay, which is for most tools.
Yep.
So you can only do so much per day. It only gives you so many credits. So what I've done is I've basically done a little bit every day, testing and working. Um, and I'm hoping that I can launch like next week. And I've only been doing this now for probably a week. I've been working on it. And I hope I can launch it next week just as a soft launch to test and see how it works. But if you've got the ability to do something like this, check out bolt.new and it you will fall off your chair because it is so cool. Um, there are probably hundreds of YouTube videos on it, I'm sure. So yeah, check it out and look me up if you're out there. And Gary, if you're going to test this, maybe let's collaborate on something too because it's so much fun. And that's the bottom line is if it's not fun, then don't do it.
I love that.
Yeah, it's so much fun. If you're able to jump on bolt.new and test it out, please do so because it's an amazing, amazing tool. And again, scratching the surface. There, this thing is going to go is going to continue to go up and up and up. And yeah, there's going to be so many opportunities out there for everybody. So
Yeah.
I am super pumped.
So Jason, I should say I'm building an audience here, right? So at this point anyway, I'm hoping that I'm starting to gain followers on this podcast, and I know that I am. But what can listeners help you with? What can listeners kind of do for you in your journeys and what you're working on and all of that kind of stuff?
I really appreciate that, Gary. I thank you for that. Yeah, if you need help with anything with marketing for your local business, please give me a call and you can find my website, sixdigital.com, SICKS digital.com. My phone number's on there, my email address. If you need help with anything, reach out to me and I can help you. I love, love, love to help businesses because when I get to see the look on your face when your business is ranked in the top three on Google and it's never been there before, it makes me so happy. I just love it. Or if you know someone that owns a small local business, small or medium sized local business, doesn't have to be in Fargo, can be anywhere in the world. If it's something that's local and they need customers coming in the door and customers calling them, please refer them to me because I will sit down with them and we will figure out a plan to get them more customers. And as you can see, it's something I love to do. And if I'm able to help them boost their revenue for their business and help their family and their life, then I'm happy.
I love it. I love it. That's what I love about what I do as well with Prairie Growth Solutions is I like to help people succeed. And and one of those is referring the customers that I work with to other great resources like Six Digital. So appreciate that a lot. Jason, it's been a blast having you on this show. I think we'll probably do it again before too long.
Yeah, no,
But hey, man, I
would love to.
appreciate your time. I appreciate Six Digital, and I hope you all the best.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you asking me on here today. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you again in the future.
Yeah, let's see where we can go. Thanks,
All
Jason.
right. Thanks,
Take
Gary.
care.
You too.
All right, we can stay on here for a minute.